Welcome to 3D Movie Cinema, the only show that's 3 dimensions away from Bugonia being called Save the Planet. I'm your host 3D Jake, and today we're looking at Bugonia, released in 2025. Bugonia is directed by Yorgos Lanthimos and from a screenplay by Will Tracy, based on the Korean film Save the Green Planet by Jang Joon-han. And the movie stars Emma Stone, Jess Plemons, Aidan Develis, Stavros Akoski, and Alicia Silverstone. The movie is essentially about these conspiracy theorist guys that basically kidnapped a wealthy rich woman played by Emma Stone. And then, of course, they shave her head and everything and put a bunch of lotion on her. And the only thing was missing was putting the lotion in the basket. But they basically tell her, look, we know you're alien, and we want you to take us to your mothership. And if not, we're going to kill you. And so essentially, like, the whole movie then becomes, are they crazy, or is she really an alien? And it plays that paranoia with Deluma. I will say this, though. I'm a huge fan of Poor Things. I was looking forward to this movie because it looks interesting. The last movie he made, Kinds of Kindness, which I guess was shot a few weeks after, after Poor Things. I was not a fan of, and I was really looking forward to this one because I'm like, okay, this has a great plot. The trailer looked great. And I like the idea of it's like a hostage movie kind of situation where how do she get out of this? And you were rooting for Emma Stone to get out of this. And so essentially, the story follows Jess Plemons, who he is this guy who has a mentally challenged cousin, who essentially, him and his cousin are basically fend for themselves and everything. And so essentially, he works at the company that Emma Stone is like the CEO of, and apparently he was the company you find out in the movie is essentially the company that was giving his mom, played by Alicia Silverstone, drugs, and she was product testing these drugs, and it sent her into a coma. And so of course Jess Plemons, is she goes into a coma and he doesn't know what to do and everything, and because he's a little slow, and so of course he basically panics, and he and the movie makes it seem like, oh, he's mad at her, and so he wants to get revenge on her for doing this, like for putting his mom into a coma, because you're like, why would he just choose her? And and like the movie itself does a better picture of this. And I do really like the paranoia. Like, it shows you every side. It shows you Emma Stone's side of her being a wealthy, rich woman. And you see, like, okay, she's a piece of shit, because she literally has just been, like, processing these drugs through and everything. And so she's sitting there making the drugs go, deeper and deeper. She knows these drugs are bad, and she's still doing this. And, she even tells him, like, look, I promise you, if you let me go, I can give your mom the cure to this, to get her out of the coma and everything, even though it's really, she has antifreeze and she wants him to go kill his mother, just so that way, like, oh, she'll kill his mother, he'll go to prison, and then I won't have to worry about this. And, like, you see that she's just trying to do anything. At first, she tries to reason with them and everything, and then when they realize that they're nut jobs, then she realized that there's no way, and she's really calm for a hostage. She's not begging for her life, crying, pleading. She's just literally sitting there basically the whole movie, like, look, I am not, I am not your enemy. I'm not trying to hurt you, and everything. And you find out, like, the reason why Jess Plemons is a little slow is because, he has a backstory where he was raised by a single mom, and this guy messed with him when he was a little kid, and the guy now is a cop, and the guy checks in on him every now and then, basically like, hey, I'm sorry, it wasn't, I didn't mean to mess with you when you were little and everything, and we're past that now, bro, and everything. And it really, and it's kind of really shitty, but I do like that he gives the rapist, is come up and so he kills him at the end. The only reason why he kills him, though, is because they hear a gunshot, which I'm like, I kind of wanted more from this movie, though. Like the whole movie, it plays on, is she or isn't she an alien? Even though you find the way the movie plays out is like she's not, he's just a nut job. But then when we get to the third act of the movie is when it spoils, you haven't seen the movie, you find out she really is a nut job, like an alien. She's not a nut job. Turns out, she literally goes to, her mothership at the end, because at the end he blows himself up, because what happens is, Jess Plemons basically gets into the mothership, it's just her closet. She gets in there and then he blows up. And then, of course, bless me, But he goes into the mothership and everything, and then like it blows up and everything, head rolls and everything, and then like she goes to the hospital, and then she gets out of the ambulance, runs to like her office, goes in there, and then goes to the mothership, and then says, fuck the Earth, and then pops the ozone layer and kills all the people, but doesn't kill the animals, because apparently the animals are safe from the ozone layer. Apparently they gave the animals oxygen or something, because they never explain it. Like, I'm like, wouldn't all the animals be dead too? Because the animals need oxygen. And also, if you're an atheist and you believe we evolved from apes, wouldn't the apes be dead as well? I'm just saying, if we are going down this rabbit hole, I'm just saying there's some plot holes in this that kind of made me kind of question, like, this doesn't make sense, like this third ending. Okay, like I feel like they kind of want to do the shock and awe M. Night Shyamalan. I know the Korean film did the shock and awe ending too, but I feel like they were probably scared. Like, if we do like a safe ending, then I guess we're not going to get an Oscar nomination. So we got to go to the M. Night Shyamalan ending and just kill everybody at the end. And it does in stupid ways too. Like, they show like montages of people dead, and at one point one dude's having sex with a girl and dies just mid intercourse. And I'm like, this movie is sometimes I lost interest. Like, this is stupid now. Like, I mean, you had me like, this was a great movie, like a 9 out of 10 film, and then it just feels like they made it just for like the shocking ending. And I feel like I did like, though, the build up to the ending, like everything that was building up towards it. Like, okay, he's gonna go there and he's gonna get shot dead or something. Like, him blowing himself up, actually, like, okay, this is a satisfying ending. And then I was waiting, I'm like, okay, so what's gonna happen is he's probably left a video diary or something that's gonna expose Emma Stone as a as like an asshole. Like, oh, this guy, like, Emma Stone gave her drugs, and then her company's gonna go bankruptcy or something, and then she's gonna be like the face of the company. Like, she's gonna have to explain herself and everything. And I was expecting that to happen, but instead they do the alien ending, and I'm like, oh, that's stupid. And it turns out, oh, she just like being a CEO rich white woman, so she was like, I decided, I got caught in the lifestyle. And then after I see all this horrible stuff happening, I decided, fuck them. Which I'm like, I was like, kind of like, what? Like, I do like that, like, she was, at first, you're like, you believe, like, okay, she's just trying to tell them bullshit, like, oh, I'm an alien, I swear. And he goes, I believe you and everything. And then, like, he beats the hell out of Emma Stone a couple times. Where, like, she gets beaten, roughed out. Like, at one point, he chokes her the life out of her in the movie. And I'm like, this is intense. Like, if you ever went through a domestic abuse situation, like, I would not recommend watching this, because there's some intense moments. I don't like also the artsy stuff that he does in the movie, like, where they're talking about, like, they do flashbacks about his mother, and it's black and white, and you see her floating up in the air. I just did not like that. I feel like that's too artsy for my taste. And I also, like, I thought was really messed up, where she's literally that cruel of a person. Like, she's like, she says antifreeze, like, he brings antifreeze to his mom and then kills his mother with antifreeze, where I'm just like, oh, I hated that. I thought that was like, that's a little bit too far. Like, I mean, she should have told him that's antifreeze. And then I'm like, well, it fits with her character being a horrible piece of shit CEO. While then on top of that, I didn't like where, like, the guy with special needs just blows his brains out for no reason. It just made no sense, and I felt bad for him. It almost felt horrible to watch that part, because I'm like, that's a little bit mean-spirited. But I did like, like, him giving his abuser what he coming to him. I really wish he would have died, like, in a much gruesome way, like him, like, I thought he should have been the one chained up the whole time, like that. He deserves it, because he's a piece of shit. And I do, like, feel bad, because you do look like Jeff Plemons plays a great role in this movie, and I feel like he believes the stuff he's smoking. And then you find out everything he said is right, and it kind of made me feel like, okay, this is kind of stupid. Although, whenever, like, she's digging through the basement and she finds all the bodies and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, he's a serial killer. Like, he is a crazy serial. He is going to kill you. Get out of there. But when Emma Stone was there with him, like, I was expecting her to run him to catch her or something. Instead, it's like, no, she waits there and she tells him, like, oh, everything. She gives him, like, this whole long backstory about her being an alien, to where even I was kind of like, is she really? There's no way. She's just selling him some lies. And then, like, turns out she really is an alien. Everything she said was true. And I'm just like, oh, okay, this movie's stupid. Like, this is kind of like, it's kind of like when you're about to go through this door, and then it's like, oh, the other door was a lie the whole time. And it's like, I hated that. I think this movie could have been great if it just wasn't for that ending, where it's like, it felt like they should have just ended on a safer note, instead they went with the M. Night Shyamalan ending and shock and awe. And I just felt like that kind of ruined it for me. If I had to give this movie a grade, I'm going to give it a B-. Thank you so much.
Sharpton for president, y'all. I'm outie.
Jesse Jackson for VP.